So today we're going to be looking at the 3 levels of polishing that we offer, kind of from the view of a complete amateur that has no idea what they are talking about and has never had any introduction to car polishing. As I know, certainly when I was younger, I heard terms thrown about such as 2-stage polish and had no idea what they meant really. So we've got a lovely black R36. Black is a great colour to showcase all of this. And we're going to be showing you in sections the 3 different levels of polishing that we offer and which one is probably suited to you. Before we get started, whenever you're doing any polishing, you want to make sure that the car is as clean as you can, the paintwork's as clean as you can, so you don't pick up any dirt in the polisher, etc. So we're going to start off with a clay bar. So I've just used some quick detailer. And what clay barring essentially is doing is removing the debris, dirt, etc. from the pores of the paint. And you'll see in a moment the clay bar will turn from white to a kind of browny black if there are any contaminants in the paint. So as you can see, it's gone slightly brown, very small section. But you can also feel the surface, it becomes smoother, easier to move the clay across the surface. That's when you know you've picked up the majority of the contaminants. Right, so now the car is clay barred, the surface of the paint feels nice and smooth, it's free of debris and dirt and contaminants. We're going to move to the most basic and first stage. It's a single stage. Stage just refers to the different steps you're taking. It's often known as a cut or a polish, and this first stage is a polish. We'll be using a kind of all-in-one polish and sealant, great product by Rupees, and we'll showcase it to you now. So we've just completed a single stage, just a machine polish. No cutting or compound involved. And as you can hopefully see, this area of the paintwork looks a little bit darker, a bit more glossy, and that's what you're kind of trying to achieve with a single stage polish. I could go ahead and do another few passes, it would still count as a single stage polish as I haven't used any other materials. But what we're essentially doing, in a very, very quick, brief analysis, your paintwork looks dull because there are scratches in the paint and the light bounces off, reflects in awkward random directions and thus creating the look of a duller paintwork. We're going over it, flattening out those divots in the paint, flattening them out so the reflection is more of a single reflection, which makes the paintwork look a bit deeper, glossier, etc. You might still be able to see a few deeper scratches in the paint, which is why we're moving now to a 2-stage polish, which does involve some sort of cutting, which we're going to swap the polish we're using and we're going to swap the pads to a more aggressive pad as well. So now we're moving to a 2-stage machine polish, which will involve this slightly more aggressive blue pad. And then we will then go ahead and do what we've just done on this panel on top of that, which will further increase the results. So we're going to really flatten out the paint, which may leave a few kind of tick marks in the paint, and then we're going to polish it afterwards with this one step that we did earlier to then flatten it out and get rid of those marks in the paint that are put in by this more aggressive pad. So now we've done the cut and polish, the 2-stage machine polish. You will see a vast improvement upon the first stage. Well, hopefully you can. Appreciate it might be quite difficult to see over the camera, but there are still some deeper scratches left in the paint, which brings us on to the 3rd stage, a major paint correction, or in some circumstances we'll do a full paint correction, where we aim to remove those deeper scratches and get the paint looking as flawless as we can. All our work, we do a paint depth measurement beforehand to make sure the paint is safe to be polished on, as you don't want to burn through the lacquer and start removing some of the colour. But we'll go ahead and do that. We might introduce a third product, a kind of middle ground product, because the cutting can be quite aggressive and it can leave quite a few more marks in the paint. So we'll need an intermediate stage in between to get rid of those marks, as the first stage isn't often strong enough to get rid of them. But we'll go ahead and do that now. So I've just done quite an aggressive cut on the car. The majority of the deeper scratches are now out of the paint, but as you just seen me do, I'm looking at all angles, bending up and down, using my finger to highlight the deeper scratches that are still in the paint, and I'll now go over them again to get rid of them. So now I'm just going to do that intermediate stage that I was talking about to get rid of any defects that the first cut has put in the paint, and this will actually help improve a bit of gloss as well.
Ow.
Okay, so that's the 3 different levels of polishing that we offer. Hopefully you can see, just pan across all 3 of them, the differences. Pretty much flawless paint now, very little in terms of scratches or defects in the paint. In the middle, we've got some of the deeper scratches still in, but all the lighter scratches have been removed. Looks a little bit glossier. And on the left, we've just got a single stage polish, which will improve the look of your car, especially if it's never been polished before. But there are some deeper scratches that are left in it. There is a final stage that we offer as part of our paint correction service. That will be a protective coating of some sort. We've got 2 that we offer, either a carnauba wax or a hybrid ceramic coating, which I'll show you in just a second. That's just aims to protect the hard work that we've done, and you can maintain your car, easier to wash, and easier to protect and keep safe. Okay, so final step, as I said earlier, we're going to protect the paint with a carnauba wax, which I will put on now. So you most likely won't notice any difference visually inside and on the camera, but when you take the car outside, it just adds a really nice level of depth and gloss, and kind of makes the paint look wet, so to speak. And it beads nicely, and it's just the best. So we've got a very thorough coating. We'll let it dry, haze over, and we'll buff it off.
Whatever. Yeah.
Right, so there we have it. 3 different levels of polishing that we offer. Hopefully one will suit you and your needs and your wants for your vehicle. They're not set in stone. Obviously there can be different combinations throughout. If you'd like anything that we don't offer, so to speak, then just get in touch and we can offer a more personalised service to you. But hopefully you can see the benefits in each different level and work out what's best suited to you. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll hear from you soon.